as he tightened his grip on the bag. "I ain't paying you to tell me what to do. I'm paying you to drive. So how about you mind your own fucking business?" I gasped in shock and tried to tell myself that maybe he was lashing out because he was embarrassed. I mean, some people didn't take well to humiliating suggestions, no matter how well-intentioned. I pressed my lips together and pulled to a stop sign at Highway 75, the two-lane highway leading back into Cockamamie. Thank God I had power windows. I used the buttons to crack all 4 windows in the car before pulling out. As I took a left turn, I noticed he was looking out the back window again. Did he think someone might be following us? I'd been sort of joking when I'd asked if he was on the run, but what if he really was making a getaway? A man who looks like he's in his 70s? Carrying a smelly lunch bag? No. This was what my mother used to call my wild imagination. Still, when you put 2 and 2 together and came up with 4, it didn't hurt to pay attention. He leaned forward and gripped the headrest on the front passenger seat. "We need to make an extra stop." "Okay," I said, "but that'll cost you extra." "That's thievery," he grumbled. I squared my shoulders. "Hey, time is money, and extra mileage means more gas. I'm not doing this for funsies." "You need to get yourself a husband," he said, gesturing to my ringless hand on the steering wheel. "A woman your age shouldn't be driving strange men around in the dark for money. People are gonna think you're a hooker." "A woman my age?" I asked in a huff, glaring at him in the mirror. If I weren't so fired up over the insult, I might also have pointed out that he'd gestured to my right hand. "How old do you think I am?" "Over 30, he said. "A spinster." What era had this guy teleported from? Was he a time-traveling agent on the run? No one has, unironically, used the word spinster for about a century now, I said. There was no point arguing with him about the over 30 comment. My recent 34th birthday found me guilty as charged. "You're still unmarried," he said, clutching his bag to his chest. "It ain't right." This guy was starting to piss me off. "Some of us don't have a say in the matter," I snapped. "If I had my way, I'd already be married. But Steve had other ideas." Great. Not only was I thinking about my asshole ex-boyfriend, but I was sharing my shame with his cranky, smelly old fart. This car ride just kept getting worse. "Women are meant to be meek and mild," he retorted. "You got in the wrong car if that's what you're looking for," I muttered, catching a glimpse of him in the mirror. He was glancing out the back window again. "Why do you keep looking behind us?" "I told you, none of your fucking business," he snarled as he turned back around. "Just drive." I really wanted to stop the car and drop-kick this guy to the curb. But I needed the money, and although I seriously doubted he was a good tipper, or any kind of tipper, I had to start being nicer. I was oh so close to having enough to make my car payment and make the minimum payment on my credit card balance. Every dollar counted at this point. "So do you want to make that extra stop?" I asked. "Not if you're gonna rob me blind." Depending on how far off the route he wanted to go, I suspected his stop would have added $1 or 2 at most. But I didn't love the idea of spending more time with this guy than necessary, so I kept that to myself. We drove in silence for several minutes, and I darted glances at the map on my phone, realizing his destination was in the Bottoms, aka the old and mostly abandoned part of downtown Cockamamie, not the newer section. If I'd realized that, I never would have accepted the job. The sun had just set, and his destination wasn't exactly in the nicest part of town. The sooner I dropped him off and got home to Aunt Deirdre, the better. Thankfully, we soon pulled up to the dark doorway of 1435 West Walnut, which looked to be an abandoned building, sandwiched between several other abandoned buildings. Other than a rundown convenience store on the corner of the opposite side of the street, there was a whole lot of nothing around us. "Drive around the block," Marty the man said.